Yo folks, hope everyone is good. It is another beautiful day here in the lovely Cork City. I'm just sitting in my passenger seat of my car. I'm going to do this in one take. Let's do it. Okay, I need to open this door. It's absolutely boiling. But basically, what I wanted to speak about was, I don't think there's a correct way to live your life. And let me explain what I mean by this, because this has kind of come from seeing a 22-year-old actually kind of rant online about how he feels so much pressure to, I suppose, be more of an adult or be doing certain things because of his friends maybe being engaged or having a house, etc., or feeling like you should be making more money, this kind of thing. And I think it's something that a lot of people in their 20s struggle with, and thinking that they need to sort of uphold a certain standard based on other people's opinions, I guess. And for me, looking at that video yesterday, I'm 26, right? And that's still really, really young. But man, I was just thinking 22-year-olds are even thinking like that now. Like, even that kind of thing is still crazy to me. And it's crazy to a lot of people, you know, at this age, maybe getting a house already or getting engaged, that kind of thing. But it's completely right for a lot of other people. You know, it feels completely right for a large percentage of people, which is absolutely cool. But that doesn't make it right or wrong, you know. And I think that's where, I guess, some people start to overthink, let's say. Like, even relationship wise, for me, I haven't had one in 5 years, since I was 21. Probably won't for another while as well, to be completely honest. And I don't have any negative feeling towards that, but that's something that a lot of people stress about. It's like the closer you get to 30, if you're not settled down, you're like, shit, I'm going to be alone. Or a lot of people are in relationships for a large proportion of their 20s, and then they might break up by the time they're 28, 29, and then they start panicking even more because they need to start over. Everyone's story is different, you know, but I don't think you should be desperately looking for that for the sake of thinking that's what you need to do if it's not what you actually want to do. Because I understand the pressure of it. I guess sometimes I have those thoughts like, what if I should be looking for a girlfriend? But then realistically, I deep it and I'm like, I'm just not ready. I have so many more things to do and places to try and live, etc. And I don't feel personally ready either for that sort of commitment, which is absolutely fine. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Again, it's not right or wrong. I think you just need to kind of trust your gut on these things, and that is my gut. So if you are watching this and you stress about that, I think you have to just kind of trust that it will happen when it happens, and that's that. I am a strong believer that if you have a positive outlook and an optimistic mindset on what will happen to you, then good things will come your way, as long as you are doing good in the world. That's just how I see it. Then business-wise, right? So I started my business 2 years ago. I've been a coach for maybe 6 years now, but online, fully online since 2024. And you know, within that 2 years, I've had a lot of conversations with people who are also self-employed and who maybe come across as if they're kind of obsessed with income, let's say, to put it bluntly. And yeah, I think based on my immaturity and lack of knowledge and development in the self-employment field, I would have felt that pressure maybe a year or two ago when having those conversations of, why am I not on that level of income? I should be making more than I am. I'm a failure, you know, not quite that dramatic, but, you know, on the way to that sort of mindset, which is so negative and toxic to be thinking that way. I nipped that in the bud pretty quick because, you know, I am a very self-aware person, and I realized that actually a lot of these people who do brag about that sort of thing, firstly, aren't the type of people I want to be surrounding myself with, but they're also not very happy people, actually, which is a bit mental. You know, all these coaches or people who have businesses who are making maybe fucking however much a month, right? An insane number, whatever it is. And a lot of them aren't even that happy because they're chasing numbers and it's all about money. And they kind of lose touch with themselves and what life is really about. They lose the gratitude for a lot of things. They take a lot of things for granted. And that's not the type of person I want to be. Yes, I want to strive for more income and freedom. Of course I do. And I always will, because I'm passionate about my job. But I think if you are comparing yourself to someone who's making more money than you, thinking that you're behind, a lot of times you're comparing your chapter 2 or 3 to their chapter 10 or 20, which isn't a good thing to do. But also, it's just toxic for your mind. And if you're never taking inspiration and only comparing in a negative way, thinking that you aren't as good as you should be, then it's not really going to lead you anywhere unless you are taking inspiration and using it as fuel. And don't get me wrong, I know we need money. It is important. It's not like money just has no importance, right? A lot of the things that we do require money, okay? Of course it does. But I think the people that I've met who are chasing that as a priority in their life, miles ahead of anything else, end up kind of empty inside. And that's just something I've noticed like multiple times. And you do not want to be that person. Like, I don't think I've ever had the mindset, probably because of the family I've been brought up in, which I'm very grateful for, of seeing materialistic things as success. You know, I see success as maybe having some location freedom, having good relationships, having a healthy mind, a healthy body, experiences. You know, that's kind of how I see success, and the impact I have on my clients, the fulfillment that my job gives me. Yes, income is great, and again, I will always strive for more freedom and more income, but it is not the main thing that I'm thinking of in my life. And by the way, I'm not bashing anyone who is obsessed with money or income. I care a lot about my income and money. I think that's very, very normal. I am just saying the past couple of years, the people who I've met who seem to be on the more obsessive side of it tend to be quite unhappy. A lot of them have even told me themselves that that is the case, which is unfortunate, and hopefully they can kind of get out of that mindset over time. But yeah, to go back to my point about whether you're living your life right or wrong or whatever it may be, I think when it comes to income, if you are thinking that you are behind somebody because of their income, it's a toxic way to think about it. And I do strongly believe that as long as you are actively trying to progress, like, I'm sure there are plenty of coaches making more money than me, but I know my mission and my vision and where I'm taking my business and the impact I have on my clients, which is very, very positive. And I know my service is good. I know I'm a great coach. I know those things, which is more important to me than figures on a screen. And I have that belief that, you know, my income will improve. I will have more freedom, because I'm focusing on the right things. That's how I see these things. And once upon a time that may not have been the case, but I think that's just the case of becoming more self-aware and mature. But just in case you are in that kind of mindset right now, I think it's just an important message. Another pretty big thing I haven't figured out, just like so many other people in their 20s, maybe even 30s, is where I want to live, which has given me anxiety and probably still does to a degree. But I try just find excitement now in the unknown as I get the opportunity to sort of explore that. And if I don't like somewhere, I can try somewhere else. If I like somewhere, I can kind of extend that and see if it's somewhere I can see myself long term. But it's such a massive decision, and it's so mental to think, like, I could meet my wife in this place, I could meet her in Sweden, Denmark, I could meet her in Bali. You know, like, you got to make the right decision, and there's pressure on that. But look, I think you got to just think what's meant to happen will happen, as long as you are actively trying things, you know, and exploring and having experiences. I think what's meant for you won't pass you. I like to think about things like that. But yeah, it's a massively stressful decision to make. You know, I might live in Ireland. I don't know. I don't think I will. But literally anything can happen in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Anything can happen. So yeah, I think what I said there about trying to find excitement in the unknown is probably one of the better ways to think about these things. Again, there's no right or way to do it. A lot of people will just stay in their home country forever and won't really explore places because they just don't want to. And that's right for them. But it's wrong for a lot of other people because they think that's wild and they can never think that way. So honestly, moral of this story, I think everyone just tries to maybe overthink at times and make the right decision here, the right decision there, maybe not always based on what they actually want. And maybe the right thing to do is just to follow your gut, you know, with decisions, and see where that takes you in 20, 30 years. And I think if you follow your gut for 90+% of the time, you'll probably end up in a pretty decent spot, I would like to think. Well, who knows? I'm 26. I don't have that much life experience. But maybe this will be funny to look back on in a few years. That's part of the reason I make these. But yeah, guys, just said I would do a quick talking head video today because I have been very busy all week launching Catalyst. For anyone who follows me on Instagram at tpmcoaching, you will have seen that. But yeah, I've been very busy with that. And if you want to check that out, it is on that other platform if you want to get lean and be part of a community. But I won't say anything else on that. This video was about the topic of which I've just discussed, which hopefully made sense. It was a bit jumbled up, didn't plan it, didn't script it, but yeah, look, I like to share my perspectives sometimes, if it means anything to anyone. Thanks for watching once again. Like the video, helps me out a lot, really, really does. Small channel, subscribing also massively helps. So appreciate you all as always, and God bless you in the next one. Next video will be in France. Let's go.